Ever found yourself running out of space at home?
Yeah.
Or maybe looking at your investments and thinking, gosh, there must be more creative ways to diversify. We've all been there, right? Okay,
Yeah.
let's unpack this. Today, we're doing a deep dive into, well, what I'm finding is the surprisingly agile world of alternative real estate in Nigeria. Our mission here is really to pull out the most important nuggets from the material you've shared, giving you a shortcut, to understanding these opportunities and the remarkable resilience in Nigeria's property market, even with all the challenges.
Yeah, and what's truly insightful here is that context. I mean, despite all the socioeconomic, political, even security crises affecting Nigeria, the real estate sector hasn't just survived. It's actually shown remarkable resilience, even expansion. It seems really open to new investment ideas.
That's surprising in itself.
It is. And there's this paradox, too, which the sources point out. You've got this significant increase in real estate demand overall, a big jump. But at the same time, there's a real lack of reliable, flexible sort of short-term rental services for locals and international visitors alike. And that gap, that's exactly where these alternative solutions are stepping in.
That paints such a clear picture of need versus supply. And yet, looking ahead, experts from that UPDC Real Estate Summit in Lagos are predicting promising times for the industry. We're talking 2025 and beyond. How does that square with the crises? How is it so resilient? That's what we need to explore, the how.
So, okay, these alternative real estate options, why now? What's really lighting the fire under this? The material clearly shows Nigeria's property sector offering a whole range of these new investment types. And it's not random, is it? It feels like it's fueled by fundamentals. The growing population, rapid urbanization, and maybe surprisingly, some glimmers of economic growth. Exactly. And the upsides of these alternatives, they're pretty significant. The sources detail this well. They're not just, quirky ideas. First, you get genuinely diversified income streams. So investors can broaden things beyond just standard long-term leases. Second, these new uses can actually boost the value of existing properties, makes them more versatile, and crucially, they meet these emerging needs, right? Needs the traditional market hasn't quite caught up with yet, addressing real gaps.
That's a powerful shift. So while maybe new ideas are still bubbling up, the sources really highlight some key alternatives that are working, like right now. Let's dive into the first one. It sounds simple, maybe, self-storage, but when you think about the demand, here's where it gets really interesting. The rise of self-storage services. I mean, Lagos, Abuja, they're so dense. The idea of just having space outside your home for stuff, it feels like a modern need, doesn't it?
Absolutely. In crowded cities like Lagos and Abuja, people and businesses are just constantly squeezed for space. It's almost a given. Maybe it's just urban living. Maybe it's accumulating stuff, inventory. You run out of room. Self-storage steps in as this, practical, flexible answer. And the demand isn't accidental. It's driven by, lifestyle changes, people moving more, different business models needing a flexible, secure storage without huge commitments.
And the examples in the material are great, like for individuals. Decluttering your home, obviously, moving house, needing a temporary spot, students needing somewhere during breaks, or, downsizing, dealing with inherited stuff. Then for businesses, wow, inventory storage for all those SMEs and e-commerce sellers, secure document storage, seasonal businesses needing off-season space, and flexible expansion for startups. That's huge, not needing a massive warehouse right away.
Exactly. So you see, self-storage isn't just like a locker down the street. It's becoming a strategic asset. It helps navigate daily life and business with less space hassle, especially as the economy shifts towards, leaner operations and more dynamic lifestyles.
Fascinating. A simple box solving complex problems. Okay, so individuals are sorting out space. What about businesses on a larger scale? Because that side seems to be shifting too. Our next alternative, Nigeria's hidden commercial gold mine, warehousing for rent.
Oh, this sector is booming, absolutely booming. You got the huge growth in e-commerce, right? Plus all the mini importation businesses, drop shipping, even retail chains spreading out more. All this has just dramatically increased demand for, agile warehousing, flexible solutions. The old model, the long-term lease, it just doesn't fit for many anymore. Short-term, even monthly options. They're just smarter, more adaptable. And who benefits? E-commerce guys needing quick storage changes, importers needing safe transit points, even farmers and manufacturers needing cost-effective space.
And the drivers are pretty clear in the sources too. First, rising rents for normal commercial buildings pushes people to look elsewhere. Then, the need for secure storage. That's critical in busy trade hubs, can't afford losses. And interestingly, more repurposed buildings, even those container warehouses popping up on city outskirts. Places like Ibadan, Abuja, Port Harcourt. Think about that small online seller. Their living room isn't a warehouse anymore. This lets them scale up properly, reduce costs, stay flexible. That's the key. That creativity, it's not just about building new storage, is it? What I find really smart is how people are looking at what's already there, seeing potential. Which brings us to the third alternative, repurposing underutilized properties, turning idle assets into actual income.
Yes, and this tackles a really common problem the sources mention. You see it everywhere. Empty shops, unused land, old factories, even parts of residential compounds just sitting there, doing nothing. Maybe accumulating taxes, decaying, just a waste. But like you said, savvy people are finding really ingenious ways to flip these into income generators.
The examples really make it click. Like in Lagos and Enugu, those boys' quarters, the small outbuildings, they're being turned into creative studios, little consulting offices, even busy hair salons. Amazing. Or abandoned warehouses in Kaduna or Ibadan becoming wedding venues, event halls. Imagine the income from that compared to zero before. And even just empty land. People leasing plots on the edge of cities for shipping containers, then renting those out as workshops or mini stores. It's brilliant.
And the beauty of repurposing, lower development costs, right? You're using what's there, not building from scratch. So rentals can start much faster just after some basic fixing up. Huge advantage. The sources show even a simple 2-room building can turn a profit, especially where normal commercial space is hard to find or too expensive. It really hammers home the idea. You don't need a giant building to make money in real estate. Just creativity and smart repurposing.
Okay, so pulling back a bit, who is driving this? Who are these individuals and businesses fueling this alternative market? What's the profile?
Right, if we connect this to the bigger picture, it's not random. It's definitely driven by clear demographic and economic trends. The sources point to key contributors. First, millennials and Gen Zs. They're tech-savvy, hitting peak earning years, and they value flexibility. Digital services like self-storage apps, perfect for them. Then SMEs and startups. Nigeria has, over 39 million MSMEs? They need affordable storage, logistics hubs, pop-up spaces. Lean operations are key. Remote workers and freelancers, too. The whole post-pandemic work shift changed everything. Shared spaces, adaptive use property, much more valuable than rigid old offices for many. And interestingly, Nigerians in the diaspora, many are investing back home, taking those underused family buildings or empty plots and turning them into passive income streams through these alternative uses.
That makes so much sense when you link it to the bigger trends, like the congestion in Lagos and Abuja pushing demand out to nearby towns, Ikorodu, Kubwa, places like that. And maybe less obvious, but high inflation, unemployment. It makes traditional homeownership tougher, right?
Yeah.
So people naturally look towards more affordable, flexible options. Were any of these drivers particularly surprising to you?
I think maybe just the sheer speed and grassroots nature of it, how quickly individuals spot these gaps and fill them, often bypassing the big, slow players. It really comes down to that philosophy we mentioned. Nigerians are thinking smarter, not necessarily bigger.
Makes sense. But of course, it's not all smooth sailing. No investment is risk-free. The sources do flag some common challenges, hurdles people need to watch out for.
Absolutely. Crucial to be aware of these. The key risks mentioned include security. That's a big one. If stored good or repurposed spaces aren't protected well, theft, damage, it happens. The sources suggest the obvious, but necessary. CCTV, good fencing, trustworthy staff. Then, zoning laws. This is vital. You can't just decide your house is now a shop. You usually need permission. Check with the local government before you spend money renovating or repurposing. Really important. Tenancy conflicts can also crop up. Without clear, solid lease agreements, you can run into problems. Late payments, misuse of the property, headaches you don't need. And finally, physical risks like fire and flood hazards. Some of these lower-cost or older properties might lack proper drainage or fire safety. Given Nigeria's climate variations, that's a serious risk.
All excellent points. It really highlights how important that due diligence is. It's not just about spotting the opportunity, but executing it smartly, safely.
Wow. So we've covered a lot of ground here. This expansive, really creative world of alternative real estate in Nigeria. From self-storage, solving modern city problems, to turning old warehouses and unused land into, vibrant new sources of income.
Yeah, and these alternatives, they offer more than just diversification for someone investing. They're a really clever, adaptive response, a response to how society is changing, how the economy is shifting. That phrase, thinking smarter, not necessarily bigger, it just captures it perfectly, doesn't it? It shows real agility.
And it loops back to what we heard at the start. Despite challenges, the experts see promise for 2025 and beyond. This adaptability seems to be why.
Which I think raises an important question. For you, listening right now, how might you spot similar things? Underused assets, unmet space needs, maybe in your own community, or even globally? And how can you apply that smarter, not bigger thinking to unlock new value? We see solutions like self-storage NG already popping up to meet these needs in Nigeria. What other innovations are just around the corner, waiting for someone to see the potential in what's, well, already there?